Thanks, Jackson. Stoked to be here. I thought maybe I'll start with a bit of an Aussie chant. I'm going to go Aussie, 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 and your response is going to be oi, oi, oi. You ready? Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! 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 Aussie, Aussie, Aussie! Very good. Cool. So Buzzy is an AI-powered no-code platform. We are trying to allow you to use a prompt and AI to be able to create things really quickly. Let's go. I want to keep this kind of lo-fi, so I'm going to be jumping around, show you some live demos. Hopefully the Wi-Fi and the tech will stand up, but you've got to live in the edge. So to get things kicked off, it'll probably take a few minutes to do it. I thought we'd start with a prompt. This is something I crafted before. We're going to create an app that allows people to discover local artists and galleries in San Francisco. It's given some information over here about the application, what the galleries are, what each artist is, and some of the information. When you're prompting an AI, there's this difficult of providing too little or too much and getting it just right. But don't worry, you can just keep iterating and going through that and trying it out till you get something. So let's, I'm going to just go over here. I'm going to copy my prompt. And let's go to my browser, back to my browser. I'm going to get out of that mode. We're going to go to Buzzy. Now, each one of you can, after the session, go and try this. Go to buzzy.buzz. I'll put some QR codes up later. I'm going to paste that prompt in. I'm going to put my email address in, so you all can email me if you've got any questions or cool stuff to say about Buzzy. That's going to email me. Now, apologies if in here. I have no idea what's going to come up in my email, but again, I'm living on the edge. Let's just... my mum usually calls me about now, and we're going to kick this off. So it's as easy as that to get started. And what it's going to do, it's going to bring up the Buzzy workspace and probably take about 6 minutes to go through that. What it's doing behind the scenes is it's creating an app brief. That's like your specification of your application. So if any of you are consultants in that, usually you would start working with a customer and working out what the brief is and what the spec is. From there, we go on and we create a data model. So we actually create the database. What we're going to be looking at here is allowing you to run a full stack application in the cloud, and then optionally later you can actually create a native application. So we create both web and native apps for this. Once we've got the data model, we can generate the screens. Everything will run to start off with using AI in the browser, and then optionally you can pull it into Figma. So that's where you can start making high-fidelity design changes. Just interested to know, who of you are Figma users? This is a design, so a bunch of you. So we chose that tool because when we started, we said we were going to do Figma, Adobe XD, InVision, Sketch. We know what happened to the rest of them. So we've currently focused on, I'd love to do stuff, I know we saw Tony before with Wizard. That's another integration I'd love to do. So behind the scenes, we can see here it's generating info for the data tables and things like that. While it's doing that, what I thought I'd do is I'd show you an application that we created. I got COVID just before Christmas, and I was stuck at home. I didn't really get it bad. And I thought, okay, I'll create a sample application that shows you the type of things you can create really quickly. So this is an AI, it was called, I was very, didn't come up with a very good name. It's called Buzzy Shirt. And you can go online and you can have a look at it. app.buzzyshirt.com. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy another prompt in over here. So we wanted a prompt generating application that integrates with a third party. So we're going to choose a cool image for an AI conference, cyberpunk running on the Golden Gate Bridge, and we're going to submit that. This interface that you see in front of you was created with Buzzy. We used AI to generate the starting point. We then pulled it into Figma, and I got to say, I'm not skilled in Figma. I'm kind of one of those non-designer people. So I went to my designer who's Figma skills and I said, hey, this is the starting point. This is what I want to build. Make it look cool and let's optimize it. So the analogy that we use is using AI is like your goal in building an application, web or native, is to get to the top of the mountain. AI will get you part of the way there. It's determined on what you're building, how good the AI is, how good Buzzy is, and specifics of your application, how good your prompt is, and so on. So this is the app that was created. We have a Figma plugin that allows you to come in. That I mentioned before, this is the brief. This is the data model. You can see it's got all the different bits over here. You can then mark up the applications, like the screens, the forms, match the things on the screen to the items in the database. You can start to add actions in that. So it's the human in the loop can come in and add this capability. What we're going to see is what the AI is going to create is the first version of this Figma file, which is really going to accelerate your processing, being able to do it. Because our goal is to be able to get you to be able to do the cool stuff, the hard stuff. Now, you might need to bring a designer in or a developer to close that gap and get you to the top of the mountain. We just want to make it faster, easier, more cost-effective. So let's have a look over here. So these are the images that were, I really like that one. When I click preview on T-shirt, that first generation of the images, we went out to a third-party generative AI image creation. It could have been DALL-E. We used Leonardo.ai. They're a pretty cool company. They actually happen to be in Sydney, where I'm based. So I just thought, may as well choose something local and start collaborating with them. For the auto processing and this preview, and so everything, again, the full user interface, and that comes from that Figma file. Everything over here, I can add to the order. I can add the sizes. So I'll choose a medium. We'll put a couple of extra larges for me. We'll do that. And then we'll go and we'll confirm that. The backend system that provided this, let me put over here an address line, some street. We're not doing street level validation here, but it does city and zip or postcode validation. And then we do this. I was a founder of a company we sold to IBM, and I lived in Boston. So I remember the Cambridge postcode. What it's doing is it's going to an external enterprise system called Printful. I don't know if you've heard of Printful before, but they print lots of stuff. You can put stuff on T-shirts and mugs and that. But for the purpose of this demo, we wanted to show that it was going out, getting a quote, giving them a mock-up of what that pretty cool T-shirt. And then the last step of the process, this was just giving you the Stripe test. It's in test mode, so we didn't actually want to check out. So then we'll actually go through to Stripe and close that transaction. We created this entire application in 2 to 3 days. And then we started iterating on it, giving it to users, getting feedback. We ran through user brain. I don't know if any of you have used user brain, user testing, like usertesting.com. And we got a lot of feedback to optimize the UI, optimize the process. So we're doing those types of things in a fraction of the time and a fraction of the cost. This would actually, if we turned this off Stripe test mode, this would actually order your T-shirt. I didn't want to do that for a number of reasons, that if people start giving me returns and that, I don't want to just deal with that. We're a software company, not a T-shirt company. It also gets into the whole discussion of who owns the IP on the image creation and stuff. That's not Buzzy's issue. That's a whole other issue to be discussed. But we wanted to give you this. And this is available as a blog article. Please check our website and go and have a look at that blog. So let's have a look at, see how the app generation. Okay, cool. So the app's created. Let's have a look at this. So this is the first version of the app. 44 screens were created, 35 components, 5 data tables, and 17 data fields. They've all been marked up in the application. If I was to give you a brief as a designer to go and create that application, the art one, how long is it going to take you to come up with a brief, come up with a Figma file, and then find a developer to hook it all together and to get it work? We've literally done that in 6 or 7 minutes and got you to that starting point. So here's the, so we can see over here, these are like galleries. Let's have a look over here. Whoops. So there's no reviews. Let's have a look. That one's got no data. It will try and generate some sample data for you. And again, this is where my demo goes a bit of haywire. What I might do is pull into, let's have a look over here. So if we've got artists in here, we can see that it's come up with a bunch of artists and so on. And we can see that it'll also, tie them back to things like galleries. Again, this was just from that prompt, this entire thing was created. You can then pull that file into Figma. So I just, because it takes 6 or 7 minutes just for the purpose of limited amount of time here, I did that very, very quickly. And we can see that it's created, this was one I did earlier today on the same prompt. It's created things like the featured galleries and that. These are all already marked up and so on. This is all based on a UI kit that makes it extremely easy to be able to change this. So you could come into the UI kit, and Figma's changed this, and you could do things over here like change the design. We've got a couple of pre-built ones. So now you can come in and you can change the look and feel incredibly quickly. Again, this is all just standard Figma, best practices Figma running in this file. If I wanted to change that file, and I'm going to, let me go back to my app over here. It takes a bit of time to be able to apply those changes. So I won't do that again because we're on a limited amount of time, but those components are reused across the application and it will refresh this application. And the only thing you need to do to get the updated working application is hit the update button here, and literally like 40 seconds later, it's live and running. So this app, if we looked at this application over here, this was one that I generated earlier. It's got like local artists. You can also now chat with the application before you pull it into Figma. So I could say, make a simple design change on the home page to make the list of artists. Sorry, I can't spell. My nickname is Adma because I can't spell my own name. So I'm going to make a simple design page on the home page to make the list of artists a table view. And let's click that. So this AI is intelligent. It will allow you to make a certain number of changes to the application straight from the AI before you jump in, you start doing high fidelity stuff in Figma. So you can see over here that it's understood that instruction. If it doesn't, it will come back to you and say, hey, what did you really mean? Or what did you want to do over here? It'll try and direct you along the right path. And then it will take a bit of time and regenerate that design and do that. Imagine doing that in Figma and changing that and having to take all the components out and map them and that. This is just going to make it much, much easier and faster for you to be able to do that. So that's really our goal, to be able to do that. And that will take a bit of time over that. So just while we're waiting, I talked before about prompting. One of the things I always say is that when you're coming up with a prompt, speak to it like it's a 5-year-old. Give it very clear, simple instructions in terms of what you want to do, what are the data items that you want to deal with, what's the relationship between those data items, and as simple as possible. I was joking this morning with one of the workshops, and I said, it's like, if you can treat it like a 5-year-old, you're going to do well. I've got a 17-year-old, my second kid, and he's an absolute nightmare. That's way harder than talking to a 5-year-old, so he doesn't listen to anything. The other thing, that the top of the item, the first item there, is that treat it like a co-pilot. This is going to help you. It's not going to complete your application. It's like when you type something into an image generator, it's not exactly what you want, and you can start prompting and getting into an argument with it. At some point in time, you need to stop and say, I'm going to jump into Figma now and be able to go and customize it and take it to the next level. And again, there is a certain level that you need to find depending on the specific application that you're building, which is what is just right. I've had people come to me and say, it doesn't work. I said, well, what prompt did you put in? They said, make a dashboard. I was saying, what's on your dashboard? What information do you want? So those things are really important. Is finding that balance and just trying it out. It can't hurt. It's going to take a few minutes. You've got to wait, but it's a lot faster than doing it manually. I'll show you. I just wanted to show you. It's still doing that one, so it's taking its time. Let's go into here. I'm going to go into manage. One of the things that's sitting behind the scenes is a full database, like a content management system for the application that was created. This is a real live database, a real application that's sitting in a cloud. Underneath the covers, it's sitting on Kubernetes infrastructure, can be scaled horizontally, vertically. If you deploy on your own server on Buzzy, it's single tenant. We wanted to do that so you can scale it independently. You want your own infrastructure that can be scaled, and then you have the option as well of taking it out into the App Store, so Android or iOS as well. For that technology, we use React Native. It's got offline capabilities, pretty cool, saves you all that painful development that we go through providing you that infrastructure. So I wanted to give you just a quick snapshot of where we're going. We're spending a ton of time making the AI smarter. I mentioned before, inside that chat, we're doing more and more. I wanted to have ready, but we didn't quite get there for this week, the ability to change the look and feel. So you can go and say, give this a summer look and feel and that, and we'll generate the Figma file. Behind the scenes, what we're generating with the Figma file is a standard Figma file. It's using things like auto layouts. You're using capabilities like, we're using the variables. They've changed this. Is it under here now? Theme. Wait, I think I need to click into something. If you go to components, over here. Wait, oops. You can get into, like, if you wanted to change, let's say, one of the components in the UI kit. Where is it? Is it like the, so if you wanted to change something, you can come in here and you can, let's have a look. And then you can get into variables, if those you know, so it makes it very quick and easy to change a massive part of the application. The AI is working with that. The other things that we're doing, we are going to give you more capabilities to use the AI to change specific components on the screen. So you'll be able to say, hey, you know what, make that white or make that blue or add this functionality, add a field to that data table. At the moment, it all works at a fairly macro level, and if you want to get into that micro level, you need to jump into Figma, but we will be providing that. We're going to also be providing screen models for better working out things like flow, and the integrations where, for example, in the T-shirt app, we wrote Lambda functions for integration with Printful and with Leonardo AI. We'll provide you some no-code ways of doing that. So we're looking at tools like Zapier and what's the other one? That's really where we're at with the product. Again, our focus is just to make it easier for you, give you a starting point, and accelerate you up the mountain so you can start to do the really, really cool stuff. Love to see what you create. Please don't hesitate to reach out. Give it a go. This is going to give you free access to the product. You won't have to pay anything, that top QR code. So please jump on there and grab that. The second one is a special offer that we've got available. There's a 75% discount on getting your own Buzzy deployment going, so your own server on your own domain name. So please grab that while it lasts, and love to speak to you afterwards. We've got a workshop at 2:00. We'll be actually going and building some of the stuff and doing some cool things. Thanks, everybody. Awesome to be here.